This video addresses a theme that has become much more visible in recent years. More and more people are seeking contact with the Kogi. Trips are being organized, Mamos are coming to Europe, and interest is growing. At first glance, this seems encouraging because more people are drawn to indigenous knowledge. Looking more closely, a serious danger appears. The more doors open, the easier it becomes for misuse, division, and colonial patterns that take hold again. This is why one question must be clarified at the very beginning. Whenever people say that they have a mandate from the Kogi or that an event or trip is in the spirit of the Kogi or with their consent, who exactly are the Kogi? The term can refer to a single Mamo, a family, a village, or the official Organización Gonawindua Tarona, which represents the entire Kogi people to the outside. Only this organization speaks in the name of all the Kogi. Everything else leads to confusion. When it is claimed that there are various Kogi leaders called cabildos, that is not a sign of diversity or decentralized equality, as it is often asserted. It is the beginning of fragmentation. This is exactly how many indigenous people were destroyed in the past, through external forces such as money, missionaries, alcohol, and the splitting into smaller groups that could then be played against one another. We see, unfortunately, early signs of this dynamic among the Kogi. Evangelical sects from mostly the United States have influenced individual villages in Colombia, especially in the department of Magdalena, and removed them away from the central organization. Parallel structures are emerging in a few villages, and they weaken the people as a whole. We should not be naive. Within Colombia, there are also forces, government, cartels, paramilitaries, that would benefit from a split. Where the people are divided, they become politically susceptible to manipulation. Hence my urgent appeal. When you see offers for trips, seminars, or one-on-one sessions with the Kogi Mamos, ask exactly who is being partnered with. Insist on clear contracts, because official cooperation with the Organización Gonawindua Tarona or with the Resguardo Kogi Malayo Arhuaco is always set out in writing. Without a contract, the basis is missing, and I strongly advise against taking part in such events. There are examples of transparent cooperation. Oliver Driva with the Kogi Coffee in Germany, for example, the Association Chenduqua in France and Switzerland, and the Tyrona Trust in England. And of course our two organizations, Sacred Future, formerly known as Lebendige Zukunft in German, and the Timeless Wisdom Academy. We all work on the basis of official agreements and written contracts. Anyone who claims to support the Kogi without being able to show proof reinforces colonial patterns, the old right to take what one likes, without regard for the rules and the unity of this ancient people, because they themselves choose with whom they wish to work as a whole. This is especially important when it comes to buying back ancestral land. Only when land is purchased and registered in the name of the Organización Gonawindua Tarona does it remain protected and untouchable. If land is registered in the private name of a Mamo, a family, or a village, imbalances, envy, and divisions arise. That has brought ruin to countless indigenous people. Anyone who says today, I support this one village or this one family, repeats colonial thinking, the stance that outsiders may decide who receives something. True support strengthens the whole people. Decisions about buying and distributing land are made in the Asamblea General, for example, the Great Council of the Kogi, never by individuals, even if they are Mamos. Cultural appropriation is also among the dangers. Clothing, Mamo hats, and the poporro are not just accessories. They are sacred symbols, they are sacred objects. When people who are not part of the Kogi community wear them, they distance themselves, not only from the Kogi, but also from their own roots. Equally problematic is the narrative of poverty and of the Kogi as needy. The Kogi are not poor. They have land, resources, and knowledge. They do not need support for their livelihood. What they expect from us is respect for their knowledge and the willingness to relearn what we have forgotten, and to stop destroying the earth, and the willingness to make the repurchase of the land possible after the territories were stolen. They do not live in a cash economy, and by their own wish, they should remain so. Only by regaining their ancestral land can they fully carry out their tasks at their sacred sites. There is also confusion around substances. The Kogi use coca leaves, called hajo or abimaya in their language. They never use ayahuasca or hape. There is no Kogi hape. If such offers appear, caution is advised. Behind them, there is often abuse of the Kogi name and their popularity, but unfortunately not their actual culture. I would also be very careful when people claim to represent the Kogi. I myself do not represent the Kogi, and the Kogi do not need representatives because they can speak very well for themselves. All of this leads to a central insight. Those who follow supposedly cheap offers or look for spiritual shortcuts reproduce colonial patterns, often without knowing it and without bad intent. The harm arises nonetheless. Colonialism means taking without asking, not looking closely because it is more convenient, and accepting that people are split and weakened. Today it shows up when people attend and organize cheap seminars or support individual Kogi and Mamos without considering the consequences. True connection means making a conscious choice to take the official path, to enable land purchase through the Organización Gonawindua Tarona, to honor clear contracts and to protect the unity of the Kogi. This path may be demanding, yet all other paths carry a high risk of causing harm. Those who approach indigenous people with a "yeah, that's all right" mentality, or who trust organizers who do so, become part of the division of a civilization that is more than 4,000 years old. That is exactly what must be prevented. The Kogi are not here to serve our needs for community or spiritual experiences. They are here to remind us of ancient knowledge. We can honor them only by securing the space in which they carry out their tasks, work with the land, their sacred sites, and their unity is protected. Therefore, my heartfelt request is this. Look closely and examine whether events, trips, seminars truly benefit the Kogi as a whole. If this is not completely clear, turn to a trustworthy source rather than to a convenient one.